Oh, it's appalling. It's appalling because you're suddenly in the middle of a scene where I'm doing terrible things to Mark in the laundry sort of cage and smacking him, putting his tie or doing something with his moustache, and suddenly it's just stand back, and they pull some poor old guy who's been in a road traffic accident through, and there's a little girl just coming out of theatre who was crying for her mum, and so you get these moments of real human tragedy in the middle of us just arsing about like a load of tits, and we've got the labels on, so there are people coming up and saying, could you tell me where radiography is, and can you tell me where accident and emergency is? And you say, I'm not a proper person, and also I don't look like a proper person. I mean, who would want somebody with grotesque makeup and their tits hanging out to help you in a hospital?
We get asked the way to X-ray in urology quite a few times. Not many mistaken identities happen, but we do often laugh to ourselves, don't we, Steve, about how awful it would be if you were in a hospital and you did suffer some form of collapse and you looked up only to see us two leaning over you saying, really sorry, we're not actually real doctors.
I could tell you a joke.
Yeah.
That would help.
Some of the best scenes really were the ones that brought all of us together, because it's just such a good crack to have everyone together, and also probably the hardest to direct because we are pretty unstoppable when you get all of us together in a very small lift with Michelle dressed as a large ham.
That was hard to deal with.
Because we were all dressed pretty normally.
Yeah.
And then she came tottering around the corner with a massive ham. That was quite...
In fact, that lift scene at the beginning of the first episode,
yeah,
we couldn't keep it together at all, because we very rarely, all of us, are in one place at the same time, and we were stuck in a small lift with Michelle wearing a ham.
Yeah, a lot of corpsing.
Take three.
Would anybody like some ham?
pathetic.
Would anybody like some ham?
Take 7.
Would anybody like some?
Oh, you see?
Ham.
Oh, fucking moan, can't get the line out.
Well, it's obviously funny. It's obviously funny.
The day when we set fire to Mark was great. It's strangely exciting. I know it's just like, that's childish, I suppose, isn't it, really? But it was good fun. You know, having these stunt people come in who set fire to people every day and covering him in things, and then suddenly he's on fire and he's running down corridors and things.
So, okay, stand by, just a moment, just letting the plane clear.
That's fine, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, light him up. And action! Background!
Sorry, no. Yes, it's right. Here we are.
It was getting very hot. Fumes, horrible.
One scene called for Sue White to be in the canteen eating an umbilical cord, and the scene was called Umbilical Sushi.
Oh yeah, we did a scene where I go up to Sue White and ask her what she's eating, and she says it's special, and so I have a bit, and it turns out to be sushi, umbilical sushi.
What's that? How come I didn't get any of that?
It's a speciality dish reserved for those who can appreciate it.
Well, I bet I can appreciate it.
I doubt that very much.
But they made up, it was with pig skin, and it was full of, I can't remember now, the stuff that was in it.
Very, very tricky brief, because there's all sorts of issues. Actually, physically making it look like an umbilical cord is quite difficult, and making it out something that somebody can eat and is safe to eat. I had it made by a home economist who specialised in making sort of odd food, and he used sausage skin that was piped full of mashed potato, and we had this sort of juice that we'd poured over it as well. I think it was raspberry coulis or something like that. He'd soaked it in brine just to make it safe so that it would kill the germs off. And it looked absolutely horrific. It looked really realistic. And Michelle, bless her, when she saw it, said, "There's no way I'm going to eat that. It just looks too awful." And Stephen Mangan said, "Well, you know what? I'll just give it a go and I'll try it." And he took the most enormous mouthful and just wolfed down this huge lump of it. And I'm in the background going, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's done that."
I ate a bit manfully. This is how tough actors are. I carried on with the take, despite feeling a bit queasy.
What is it?
Well, it's fresh umbilical.
Sorry, that's fucking horrible.
I can't believe you did that.
Things
But then I was sick.
You were sick, weren't you?
Ruined the take.
Okay, in on the cover, thank you. Keep running, Martin.
That's clearly rubbish.
There was a scene where Sue White had to be seen giving birth to a lion cub. I ended up phoning every single zoo in the country, even to the point of looking through circuses, and eventually, to my absolute amazement, I managed to find a lion cub in a zoo in Birmingham, and they said, "Well, you can't take the lion cub out, but you can come and film it here." So that wasn't ideal, but we ended up having to dismantle Sue White's set and rebuild it in a lion enclosure around this lion cub, and then the lion cub was brought in and Sue White did the scene. But unfortunately, the lion cub wasn't quite as cub-like as we had hoped. You know, they grow very quickly, so a week in a lion cub's life could be, you know, a good few inches and a few pounds, and it ended up being the size of a small dog, so it wasn't ideal.
The weirdest thing I've been asked to do on Green Wing is wear that short dressing gown from series 1. That's even weirder than being asked to sleep with my mother. Actually, no, it's not.
That was probably quite
That was the weirdest.
Yeah.
Not real mother, obviously. Pippa Hayward, who plays my mother.
God, there's so many, I suppose. Being buggered in a cupboard was one. Bananas down cleavages. Being asked to crash your car.
Mine was probably riding my motorcycle naked down a hospital corridor, which in itself wasn't too strange. More strange was the fact that, for reasons to do with the filming and the sound, at various points the engine had to be switched off, and so there were actually groups of 4 or 5 men on either side of my projected course who were pushing and then catching me as I arrived naked on my motorcycle.
Which doesn't bear thinking about,
which was quite...
some people really earn their money.
I certainly, the props guys didn't really think that was going to be in their contract.
And would you mind sticking any number of acupuncture needles in your face for a scene? Because we can't do it with makeup, so you have to have it done for real. Oh yes, I'll do that. I am your worst nightmare. And then we had a beach ball in that scene, so I seem to remember we had to sort of bash it around, and one time the beach ball just bounced off all the needles, which was great.
Isn't the weirdest thing that you've ever been asked to do, been made to dye your dark brown hair ginger?
Yeah, well, there was that, of course.
It's actually quite dark. It's
to
got the
have
same colour hair as
those
me.
natural Italian curls.
Don't touch me.
Oh, my arse, man! It looks fine. 'Cause my ginger boy is sleeping. like it's dead.
What are you doing? That's great.